quiltaholic, or I'm obsessed with quilts. And so quilts are a part of American history. We've had quilts in every phase of our history, from the early colonial period all the way through modern times. And so when you look at American quilts, they're very unique. And so American quilts often tell the story of the time period in which they were created. In this case, we were examining the use of quilts during the period of the 1800s, prior to the Civil War, and how they enabled slaves to communicate with one another. Oftentimes, slaves were prohibited from learning to read and write, and so oral stories is the only way that they could communicate with each other. And so these oral stories were often recorded in their daily work, and one of their daily things that they did was make quilts for the family. And so this is what historians have said is a possibility of how they communicated with each other and how they traveled along the Underground Railroad.
So tired. I wish I had a place to sit down. Oh! Can I sit with you? Oh, this is so nice. I wonder where this came from. All these hard workers. Wow, what is this? Can you sue me? Miss Maynard, what are these? Our pallet benches.
I learned that.
So your students learned how to make furniture? That's so amazing. So what else did they make besides a bench?
We have a footstool.
I like that. Something for the kids?
Sandbox, water box, table.
I like it's an end table.
There's unique.
And a little like coffee table. Or
A breakfast
and a breakfast table.
That's cool.
So we had a PBL in Miss White's class, which is integrated science, and we had to figure out a way to make the walkway outside of the school not so slippery.
When we were doing this project, we learned that there were not many things you could do to make it not as slippery and to prevent soil erosion, but we figured out a solution that ended up working well.
And we ended up putting pipes under the walkway into a water containment that would go back up into the school and be filtered and be used as school water.
This is our model for our project. This is the walkway, and then if you look underneath, here's the pipes and the plumbing system that would go back into it.
Hi, so right here we have our 6th and 7th grade English PBLs. Starting right here we have the great debate for my 6th grade English. The students were put into teams where they got to choose their topics. As you can see, we have students talking about the voting age, whether they should be able to choose their own classes, banning behaviors, homework, smoking, etc. And you'll see some of their papers. Students argued from the affirmative and negative side on the debates and came to a conclusion and prepared rebuttals.
Planetary Proportions was our title, and this was Miss Hopkins and myself, and we did this with our 7th grade co-taught classroom, and she also did it with other 7th grade classrooms as well. And we've been studying ratios and proportions, but also part of the content of 7th grade is learning about space and the solar system, so we wanted to combine those and do a project so they could kind of get an idea of how small Earth is in relation to our galaxy and our solar system. And so they used a scale of 4,630 miles was 1 square inch, and we found how far the planets were from one another and how far it is from the sun. And in addition to doing all the math, we then found the circumference using radius and diameter, and we actually made a 3D example of the solar system. So as you can see, Earth is very small.
1,300 of them.
Yes, 1,300 of these could fit in Jupiter. So proportionally, the students really had an eye-opening experience of realizing how small we are.
That's just our 2D model.
And then so we have a 3D model and a 2D model, and then they also wanted to draw one out.
The schedule.
The scale drawing. Yep. We're sticking our thumb out at each other. Tomorrow.
So right here you have the 7th grade English PBL. Students were asked to choose a great leader from history and talk about why they were a hero and why they made a positive contribution to society. Students teamed up with a partner and were asked to contribute a technological part as well as a tangible part. Students made PowerPoints. They created trifold presentation boards, posters, and made handouts for the class as well. They also created models. This way. They created models such as a computer from Bill Gates, jerseys, and other different presentations that were part of their tangible portion of their presentation.
So I interned at the Bourbon County Citizen Advertiser, and I was lucky enough to have my neighbors be the owner of the paper, and so I asked them if I could start interning, and they were more than happy for me to start. And so basically, I got to do classifieds long ago, write ads, a couple of stories. I basically did anything that they handed to me, and they weren't shy of giving me work to do. But I also got the opportunity to work with Ivan as his intern, and I got the chance to go to the boys' basketball game, and I got a pass to get him for free. And he also had me write a couple stories on track, and so I covered my two best friends at an indoor track meet. But my main project with the paper was to actually write an article over my father's business, which had been being questioned by a lot of members of the community. And so I wrote a long story over it, and they never gave me a cap. They just told me to write what I felt was necessary, and it ended up being a cover story. So that was pretty exciting. They blessed me with a bunch of opportunities, and I really loved going there. They offered me a job to work there, and I'll probably take it up on offer.
Hey, Mr. B.
Well, hey, Cindy Kane.
Hey, did you hear they're going to be putting in a new park in Bourbon County?
No, I heard it was Baumgartnerville.
Baumgartnerville?
Yeah.
I wonder what they would put in that park.
I really don't know.
Maybe we can see.
Well, let's look and see. Well, looky here. There's all kinds of parks they could pick from.
Wow, there is. There's so much. Some of them have unique features.
And some of them are colored.
And some of them are 3D. I wonder if they know how much safety goes into designing a park. Well, it looks like they do.
Wow. And I wonder if they know how much the park costs.
Looks like they figured that out.
Wonder who their math teacher is. That person must be awesome. Really 9th grade? Really 8th grade?
Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fist. And clearly I don't see where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some super